Hi and welcome to another Tabitha's Glass Emporium YouTube video in sunny Croatia. Today we are doing things Easter and I wanted to bring you these fantastic Easter eggs. I had a go at various different types of cool Easter eggs for you to make. These are projects you can do on your own or with kids. They're a great workshop to do. So bear with me and let's have a look. So for a lot of these projects you need to be able to cut an egg. I have a very rumpled, the dog ate my homework, printout of an egg. I just took it off the internet, put it into Word and did it. Now because I've cut all the clear ones out, I've cut a clear one and then I literally just drew around it to get the shape for this one. So normally you just put it over the top and draw round it. So now I'm going to cut it out. So I literally, just keeping your cutter upright, I'm following the line round and kind of going out at obvious places where it's good to go out. Wearing safety specs, guys. Make sure you're wearing your safety glasses when you're doing cutting. I've gone a little bit outside the line I wanted. Now, there's no way this is going to come out all neatly. I am going to have to do some grinding. If you don't have a grinder, you can just sort of, so I probably should be using grozing rather than these because it's not good for them to do it like this. But then once I've sort of got most of this off, I'm going to take my mosaic cutters and just nip the bits I don't want. So you're going to end up in the end with a sort of good rough thing. And if you're, if you're full fusing, you don't need to worry. I've luckily got a grinder, so I'm now going to give the edge of this a grind until it's nice and smooth. So I've cut this egg out and I want to do a little floral scene. I'm just going to put a bit of gel glue. Actually, I'm just going to kind of whack it all over, just because sometimes that's easier. Putting a little bit of frit down, this coarser frit. A little bit of this. You know me, guys, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm probably going to need some yellow medium frit at some point. I'm saying this because I'm trying to persuade Sandra in the background to go and get me some yellow medium frit. Okay. That's the one thing I don't have. So I'm putting some stringers down. I'm doing some shorter ones. I'm doing some longer ones. That out the way. And put some kind of, nope. I have a scrappy thing of stringers and I'm just choosing some here. And now I'm going to put some daffodils. I feel there's a poem in there, something about a lovely field of daffodils. And I'm going to either, after it's fired, drill a hole, or I might, before when I put it onto fuse, put a bit of wire underneath so that it's got a way to hang up. So they're here. Now I'm just looking for some canary yellow medium frit. I'm going to sprinkle that around a little bit. And I've got some aventurine medium as well, so I'm just going to sprinkle that around. And there we go, it's a little daffodil field, sorry. Oh no, I've forgotten, I'm going to put a bumblebee on. So there is a little stripy bumblebee to go on and be just making happy times in the spring. So that's one little idea of an egg, and let's look at some more. So for this one, you need to do it in layers. So you've got a sort of bottom layer that I've cut out, and then I have a second layer that goes on top like this, and I tend to sort of overlap so you get different stripes of colour coming through. And I'm even using a bit of Tecta and sort of lighter and darker ones. I've tried to go a bit darker at the top just to sort of cover up the metal, and I'll put a bit of fibre paper. So how to do it, I'm going to do one in kind of pinks. You can see I've got one in blue, one in green. I thought I'd do one in pinks. So I tend to kind of, I've gone through my scrap, and this I'm hoping is in my pink scrap, so I'm hoping it's a striker. So I literally just draw a line on there. Got my safety glasses on. And then I'm just going to cut this off and then score all the way around it. But I'll also do a sort of break line out like that. And do like that and then that. It doesn't need to be perfect, guys. It's going on a full fuse. It's going to be a bit rough and ready. It's all going to kind of pull up in the end. So I'll sort of do this and then I'll carry on. So I think I've got a bit of salmon pink. I'll put that in and I'll do sort of that again. And just sort of cutting them quite, you know, as I said, rough and ready. It doesn't matter if they're not exact. I can do a bit of nipping with mosaic nippers if I need to. And put it in like that. As you can see, oh, wrong way up. It's not, you know, not nice edges. It doesn't need to be. You're just sort of getting them down. It's going to be a nice full fuse, and then you'll see how it all is when it comes together. So here they are already. They'll go on a full fuse. I've tried to use transparent. I realise I have put salmon pink in there, which is not, but everything else pretty much is transparent because they're kind of like Suncatcher Easter eggs. So they're sort of, you know, you're getting both things there. So these will go in on a full fuse and we'll see how they are when they come out. So I want to do some with stencils. Now I've got a fantastic silhouette machine that can cut me some stencils. So I've cut 3 out. And if I put this, it doesn't really need to be in line with the egg, but I'm going to put it there anyway. Bit of OCD there. I'd, put this on a bit of wood. It just lifts it up and then makes it easier to grab afterwards. And then I'm going to put the stencil over the top of the egg and putting my mask on. Make sure, guys, for using powders, put your masks on. Put my mask on. It's fitting well over my nose. And then this one, I'm going to just take some blues. So this is a deep cobalt. Put some deep cobalt there. Deep cobalt at the bottom as well. And then I got some turquoise. These are all opals. We're looking at opal glass here, not transparent. And then I'm just going to put them in. And I'm giving it a pretty good hefty layer. And then you need to lift up the stencil. And I could have reclaimed the powder in between, but I haven't. And there you go. You have a nice sort of pattern on the egg. And that will go in on a tack fuse. Now I'm going to do all the other ones using kind of different the different stencils, and we'll see how they all turn out. So here these are with their stenciled powders on them, ready to go in the kiln on a tack fuse. This will be quite a light tack fuse. I'm not going to go very heavy on them. So here are these ones with the powder printing out of the kiln. Now I decided to add a few extra murrine because I can, but I think this one, you know, hasn't got any, and it's lovely as it is. But, you know, I'm the murrine queen, so I can add a few. So I'm going to do here. But just on their own, they are absolutely lovely as well. So it's sort of, you know, entirely up to you. You could also use a pattern, a stencil that lets a lot more powder through. So there's a lot more kind of powder than clear. Whereas these ones, you know, can be quite clear. But I just think it's a really simple way to make a lovely little kind of Easter present for someone without using too much material. So I'm just going to put these in, and then these will go back on another tack fuse, and we'll see how they are when they come out. So this one's a 2-stage process. I first of all want to put some powder, tack fuse some powder onto the glass, and then after that I'm going to decorate it. I also, while I'm doing the tack fuse to the glass, I'm going to put this behind so that it has a hook on it, and it will kind of sink around this bit of glass, but it'll be fine. So I just want to literally, I'm kind of just putting some powder on. In fact, I might do a green one, some pea pod. And I'm just not worrying about it being too careful. I just want a good coating. Bit of spring green in the middle. And then I'm going to put a very light little bit of aventurine to give it that sparkle. It's a bit too much really. I'm just going to go back over the top with a bit of pea pod here. Okay, so literally I'm going to do 2 of those in 2 different colours. They're going to go in on the tack fuse and then we'll decorate them afterwards. So here are these 2 out of the kiln, and now I want to think about decorating them. Now I've made various different elements. I've done kind of bits of glass that I've cut on the Taurus. These here, which I've cut also on the Taurus, and just put kind of just along the Taurus so they make this kind of fun edge. I've got a bit of the surprise cane that I talked about before, and some murrine stringers. And I'm just literally going to sort of put these on, and then these will be sort of tack fused on this. A lot of the time with this, I'm using this really simple rainbow murrine we have. These are kind of our basic range, and you can get them in the individual colours or as a mix, and they're really good value for money. You get kind of 25 grams, you've got your kind of, you know, basic rainbow colours there, and they're useful for so many projects to sort of just add a little extra element. So, you know, here all it is a few little murrine being added to this to kind of make it a really fun little Easter egg. And so that's all I'm going to do with this one. And the other one I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to kind of add things to it. You know, just do the world's your oyster with these. You can decorate them however you like, and that's why they're quite fun things for kids to maybe do, is that you full fuse this with a bit of colour on, and then they can come in and decorate them. We do free workshops for local children here, and this is what I'm going to do for Easter, is sort of just do up a load of these in different colours, and then the kids can come in and just, you know, go through. We have a big tray with kind of frit balls and things like that, and the kids can use them. So you could just, you know, I think I might on the bottom here, or even on here, just add a few frit balls, and you know, so that doesn't cost you know, sort of very little. So if you don't want to, you know, to put murrine on, you can just put a few frit balls on instead, and use that as the decoration, which can be really fun. Oop, I dropped one. So there, as I said, there's lots of different ideas you can do, and once these are decorated, they'll go back in the kiln to go on a tack fuse to tack fuse the decorations on. So this one I wanted to do was using our surprise Twisty cane. They come in lots of different colours. You can either buy them in individuals at €1 each, or right now we're going to do a special of 5 for €3. So you're going to get kind of 5, and you'll get any 5. You can put a comment in saying what colours you want, but pretty much you will get what we have. You'll definitely get some red. We got lots of red, probably one light, one pale, bit of orange, bit of something or other. And so with this, I'm literally just putting some gel glue down, and then I've cut them to the size of the egg. And I'm putting them on like this. And they're going on like that. And then this will go, you've got 2 options here. You can either fire it this way up, but in fact I'm going to try and let this glue dry, and then I'm going to flip it and fire it with the glass on top and the eggs underneath, because I think it will get a better shape, and you'll get this sort of optical illusion of the cane kind of being deep into the glass. So that's going to go on a full fuse and be fired. I will also, I'm going to get a little bit of wire, and tuck a little piece of wire between here and here, which I'll do, and then I'll just show you how I've done that. So we've made a little like this in the wire. I use the Nicronian wire, cut it and just make these little loops. The little loops help the wire stay in the glass. It gives the glass something more to grip on. If you just put two things in, sometimes it can stick out. So this will go in the kiln like this, and this over the top. I'm going to let this all dry. I'm going to probably put a bit more glue on, and then I'm going to try and flip it, and we'll see. And then, as I said before, it go on a full fuse, and we'll see how it is when it comes out. So you could also take just a piece of coloured glass, and this could be a good one for workshops with kids or with grown-ups, and literally just put some gel glue across. We have all these trays which we use in workshops, which, you know, we give to people to kind of, particularly the kids, just to go through, and they're like, oh, it's like a sweetie tray, and they love it. You know, I think I'm just going to decorate this one with kind of dots of different colour. Some orange here, yellow, green, and really, you know, let your imagination, let whoever's doing them's imagination go, you know, wild. They can decorate them any way they want. It looks a bit like a Smartie egg right now. But you get the idea. So that's another really simple way of just making a little egg, or doing a workshop, or, you know, with your kids to make a fun egg. So the last one is like this, which is just doing a bit of fibre paper casting. So cutting an egg shape out of fibre paper, and a piece of Tector that can fit on top. The nice thing is if you put these sort of scraps, and this is basically our vitrigraph scrap, there are a couple of bits of Excel in there. We don't have much of that in stock at the moment, but you sort of put it in the mould, and then you put this on top. You get a kind of nice feeling of depth. And you know, this scrap is like €220 for 50 grams, so it kind of goes a long way, and you can get it. So I'm just putting a bit of glue, any old glue, PVA, whatever you got will be fine. You can see that for the metal hook, to make sure it's sandwiched in the glass, and again, as I was saying before, you put these kind of rolled bits on them, which kind of grab into the glass. If you keep them straight, there is a possibility of the glass slipping off. So there's like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I put some things underneath, and so the wire has gone through the fibre paper and is sort of floating halfway up the fibre paper. If I make sure I put some stuff underneath, when I put the glass on top, the metal will be sandwiched between the two bits of the fibre paper on the glass underneath and the glass on top. So I'm now going to fill this mould up with frit, and you can come back to me when it's done. So here it is with the mould all filled, and then literally all I'll do is place this on top. It's going to have a firing with a bit of a bubble squeeze in it. This one will have just 2 hours, and also to if there are any strikers in it. We'll see how it is when it comes out. So here they are all out of the kiln. You know, they've all got different characters. I love these ones. They're so simple to make, and they're really effective. They're really pretty as sort of sun catchers to have up. You get this sort of depth between the different layers, which is really cool. I mean, this one, you got the salmon pink on it, but I don't mind that. Salmon pink's quite translucent anyway. And it's really nice. Probably my favourite is this one with all the scrap. I just love it. I think it helps doing it in the kind of pinks to reds to greens to blues. These are really cool. The optical illusion of I fired it, so I did fire it with the canes on the bottom and the glass on the top. And it looks nice. My daughter's favourite, she came in yesterday when I was putting them in the kiln, was like, oh, I love that one. So, you know, for kids, as I said, doing a workshop, that's a really great idea. I'm not thrilled with my egg shapes. I think they could have been a little bit better if I hadn't rushed so much. I love this one, the kind of little meadow one. I just think that's sort of beautiful for, you know, present for a granny. Would love it. Again, my egg shape could be a little bit better. I really love these as well. I just think they're really kind of simple, basic, kind of great ones. If you're selling kind of stuff around Easter, those could be great. You could, if you don't want to use murrine, you save a bit of money, you could use frit balls instead. And these are just sort of fun and, you know, full of life and full of colour. So I think they've all got their ups. And I hope you've liked this video. And if you have, please subscribe.